Hello and welcome once again to Solo Board Gaming presents Charlemagne, Master of Europe from Hollandspiele and designed by Amabel Holland. I've been waiting to get hold of this game for a long time. I already think it's another Hollandspiele masterpiece, although it's been out for a while. But as you know, I do like to mix it up a little. I really like to showcase various historical periods if I possibly can, rather than just concentrate on World War II, for instance. And in this little box, there's such a vast sweep of really important world history. And from what I've learned so far about Charlemagne, Master of Europe, it's all in this box. Let's take a quick look on the other side of the box. Charlemagne, Master of Europe. In 771, at the age of 29, Charles was left in control of the Frankish Empire. But it's what he did with it then over the course of the next 40 years. And it's the stuff of legend, as is stated here. Charles the Great, Carolus Magnus, Charlemagne, Charlemagne, King of the Franks and King of the Lombards. And finally, on Christmas Day in the year 800, Charles was crowned in Rome as Holy Roman Empire. The first time these Western provinces, the first time Europe had been united for over 300 years. And an effort, an achievement not to be achieved again for more than 1,000 years. And it's that sweep of history that's inside this box. Okay, so what do we get in the box apart from a D8, an 8-sided die? Well, first of all, a beautifully illustrated rulebook. That's what, and there's that coronation again of Charles by the Pope in Rome, Christmas Day, the year 800 AD. And it's a lovely rule book. It's only, 18 pages? Now, some of it's fairly dense. Well, okay, the text is nice and big, look. I mean, there's no problem reading it. And it actually reads quite well. In fact, extremely well. But there's quite a lot of it. Plenty of illustrations as well. But I'm just pointing out they're not on every single page. But when they're there, they're really nice illustrations, as you can see. Some of the counter explanations there. There's plenty of examples of play. Again, full colour. And like anything that Amabel and the team put together, it's actually a joy to read. But this is a serious game. There's a lot of moving parts, a lot of moving components in this game, a lot of interacting mechanics. But at least they're all based on decisions you're making. You're making decisions all the way through the game. The game isn't happening to you. You're making the decisions. And the game will then react to those decisions for good or for bad. A nice example of play at the end here, again, with some lovely colour illustrations. And so it goes on, quite an extended example of play there. This piece here actually is about the warfare. It's about battling your opponents. Along with this, and pretty essential from what I can see, one of the nicest player aids you're ever likely to get in a box. Why do I say that? Well, because it's so thematic. All the way through, I mean, look at the illustrations here. It's like something from the Lindisfarne Gospels almost, or the Anglo-Saxon Chronicles. Lovely medieval illustration. And we have the same down the sides of this player aid and with the chosen fonts. And this is a 4-sided player aid. As you can see that, yes, look, still full colour. Beautiful. Sequence of play, levy phase, campaign phase, build phase, diplomacy phase, and the turn end phase. And of course, where we will find them within the rules. And on the front, we have our summary of actions, because there's various things you can do. Suppress, battle, forced march, gift, forced conversion for pagan regions only, obviously, marquis, siege, and reactions to those actions that you're taking. This is where the game, the enemies, will be reacting, and these are all the possible reactions here. This is an aid memoir for your build phase, your diplomacy phase, Iron Crown of Lombardy, Holy Roman Emperor, and then your money, upkeep cost, drains on income, increased taxation, the thresholds for winning and losing, the turn end phase, and victory points. Now the thing is, and I love the directness of this, this is winning and losing, okay? And I said the game has a reputation for being really difficult. That doesn't mean difficult to understand or to play, because from what I can see, it's absolutely wonderful in that regard. Although this aid memoir will be used and is definitely needed. No. The difficulty is in actually winning the game. And it's a solo game, and that's exactly what it should be, because if I beat it eventually, when I do, I want to feel it's a real achievement, and I've been through the whole sweep of history. To illustrate that very quickly, look. To win, I've got to meet all 5 conditions here. There they are. I've got to meet the victory point threshold. There has to be no Moors on the map. I have to be Holy Roman Emperor. I have to be King of the Lombards. And I have to have built 3 bridges and roads in various regions. Okay? So I have to meet all those 5 conditions. But to lose the game, I merely have to meet any single condition from this table here. So if I fail to meet the victory point threshold, if I fail to satisfy win conditions at game end, if I lose a battle, what? If Moors advanced past Poitiers, or if intrigue results in our overthrow. I just think that's amazing. I'm so looking forward to playing this. Such wonderful, wonderful history. Enemy formation table, and again, an explanation, or rather an identification of what we're looking at on all those wonderfully illustrated counters, which we will see right now. And here we go for the counter sheet that comes in the box. It's a single counter sheet. And again, I love that. We're not playing with several hundred counters. And apart from being wonderfully colourful, as usual, and I've really come to appreciate that now with some Hollandspiele games, because they pop from the board and we tend to know what we're dealing with. It's those nice, thick board counters. Look at that. Absolutely wonderful. And I've just placed them here on the map. We'll have a closer look at the amazing map very, very shortly. But meanwhile, let's zoom into some of the counters. And I don't know how well this is going to show some of the illustrations. I've got a feeling it's not going to do them a lot of justice. But again, it's all medieval iconography from medieval artworks, the kind of thing you would see in the Chronicles. Now, don't forget, all this is happening in the early Middle Ages, or early to high Middle Ages. The Middle Ages, you normally we tend to agree that they start around, let's say 600, something like that, 600 AD to the 15th century. But the earlier part of that, a lot of people still, mistakenly now, I think we agree, refer to the earlier period as the Dark Ages. but maybe we should start to distance ourselves from that. Personally, and this is very personal, I viewed that crowning of Charlemagne by the Pope in Rome on Christmas Day, the year 800 AD. In my mind, I have found that to be the start of what we lovingly know as the medieval period proper. Anyhow, as usual, I'm starting to ramble. Look at these counters. These are you see how they're colour-coded here? Yellow, green, blue, salmon, orange, and then brown, browny colour down here, and so on, and purple. These are all areas on the map, and these will be the squares on the map. So we have Poitiers, we have Bordeaux, we have Gascony, we have Lombardy, Bavaria, Provence, Swabia, Burgundy, and so on, all with lovely individual artworks on them. And of course we have peoples of the other areas. We have Croats, Moravia, the Avars, Saxons, Velitai, I hope I pronounced that right, Bretons, Paris, and so on. Beautifully illustrated. Let's take a quick look at the other side. Look at the top here. Many of these, in fact, most of them, all of them, maybe, are double-sided. So we'll have a look at the back in a second. These beautiful illustrations here are churches under construction. Where is it? There we are. Churches under construction. Look at that. You see? And on the other side of these counters, there we go. They're churches completed. Absolutely wonderful. And here we have the counters for the Marquis. I think there's 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. The armies. These are your armies here in red. These are the infantry and the cavalry of Charlemagne. And here, in this silver grey colour, are the armies of our enemies. And again, look at these lovely counters here. I hope we're still in focus. Look at these illustrations from medieval artworks. These are the illustrations for Byzantium. These here, it took me a while to realise what these were. These are longships. So these counters here represent Vikings. And these here, these are the Moors who are moving up through Spain. Let's have a look on the other side. Okay. For the armies, for instance, these show a reduced side, so they're 2-step counters. See these with the yellow stripes? And on the other side of the unit counters, the counters that go on the map counters, we find leaders. See the leaders for Lombardy or for Bavaria or Gascony here in yellow. Moravia here, or the Saxons. See the leaders are shown with winged helmets or on horseback here, look. So now it's time to have a look at the map. So a nice big map we get in our box. And straight away, just look at it. The pastel colours. How clear it is. There's point-to-point movement here, look. And these boxes is where various forces will spawn and move. The circles are where we will strive to build and complete churches. It's our church pool. and it covers most of Western Europe. What we would now call France, for instance, here. We can just see the coastal areas of Spain beneath these tables here. Germany here in the north and the Low Countries. Central Europe here and the Balkans, Croatia, and of course what we now know as Italy. At the top there's a turn track. The game consists of 12 turns. And then we have a victory points track, an English support and emergency victory point track, treasury and taxation. I like this, diplomacy, phase order. And you can see how we're going to play this game with the assistance of both what's on the map and our brilliant 4-page player aid. The diplomacy phase order, for instance, Vikings, then we have Al-Andalus, Spain, Byzantine, the rest of the East, which is off map, England, and obviously the Vatican. And all of this corner here is for battling. When battles take place, the force pool for infantry and Skara, those are our household cavalry, by the way. The enemy right, the enemy left, your right, your left, and the reserve. So some fairly detailed, abstracted but detailed battles going on here. Every single one of them a threat, every single one of them a danger to your continuation as ruler of these lands. A beautiful map, and I can't wait for my counters to start moving across the map. These counters with their colour and the wonderful medieval illustrations. And we'll be getting stuck into the rule book, of course, and we'll see how we can do playing Charlemagne. Will we be master of Europe, king of the Franks, king of the Lombards, and Holy Roman Emperor? It's a great looking game and it's a challenge. So thank you for watching. I'm going to be taking a week or so to learn the game. And when we come back, we'll do a deep, detailed review and how the mechanics all work together with some kind of a play demo or even more. And I'm really looking forward to that. So as usual, thank you. I really appreciate your time. If you've enjoyed it, please like the video. And if you haven't done already, if you could subscribe, that would be a great help so I can keep turning out content. Thank you very much. See you again very soon. Bye-bye.